little bit like someone may go, "Rah!" But they're
Yeah,
not
like
gonna.
you just see randomly a bloke with a William Shatner mask, like in the
Yeah, if
background.
it was a horror film, if I was in a horror film, it'd be like that, and I'd be talking, and then someone would appear there in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. I reckon though, in a horror film, I'd be the first one to go.
Nah, because right, you would have the sympathy of the audience. Go on.
I reckon I would be the first one to die, but I do get you. Yeah,
They need you for diversity,
they do need me for diversity, but also if I was to
not
get,
the dancing team, not diversity of the dancing people. You can't do that.
I can, and it's my dream. The first wheelchair. That's imagine trying to do a human pyramid. I'd just go rolling that. Pick me up.
Put the brakes on. Put the brakes on.
Yeah.
No, I think you'd probably be like middle to end. I don't think you'd survive because you're a little bit of a cunt. I do think that you would make most of the way through the film.
Yeah, but I suppose I'd have to be a bit of a dick because if I was like nice and then I died in the middle of it, could be too much for the audience. It'd be like, look at this weird little disabled man. He was a good man. You know what I mean?
Why are the audience Irish?
Why can't they be Irish?
Racist. I don't know, but it just sounded like you were saying, "Oh, the Irish people can watch the film."
Well, no, I'm just saying that that just happened to be an Irish audience member. The Irish
Is
do
this
watch films,
positive
Andrew.
discrimination, Dave?
Hmm?
Is it positive discrimination? Is that what you're doing?
No, I think what you're doing is positive discrimination because then you're saying that the Irish are a victim because of my portrayal of the Irish. My portrayal of the Irish was only to reference a random audience anywhere in the world.
Is that you? Because you're saying that Irish people live everywhere around the world.
What they do, don't
Yeah, I suppose. So do English people.
they? Yeah, those people. But like,
So,
oh,
but I think, yeah, I am positively discriminating against people.
yes, yes.
Positively
So,
discriminating.
and what did you think
Hey,
about the film?
so I think that Halloween is. Don't get me wrong. You watch it now, and it don't seem half as scary as it was when you first watched it when you were little.
Right.
But it's a trendsetter, and it's the slasher film, apart from maybe Psycho, of all slasher films. 1978, Friday the 13th didn't come out until 1980. So,
Didn't it?
nah. So they kind of copied a little bit Halloween, I feel.
Right. Okay. Okay. I would say that many films of that era and in the 80s era were all kind of birthed from the idea of Halloween. Like what you said with Psycho was right. That was probably the first slasher movie. But the slasher movies that have developed even into today come from that, really. And
Yeah.
even though it's not as scary, I still think there's more of a psychological factor with Halloween.
You know what? One of the things is about that film, John Carpenter obviously directed it.
Yeah.
But did he direct it or did he write it? But he also
I
wrote
think
the
he wrote
music.
it. I think he
And
either
that
wrote it. A woman called Deborah something. I can't remember her name. We all see it on the credits. I think she wrote it.
wrote it or directed it.
Now she wrote it, and I think John Carpenter,
I think they
uh,
wrote it together actually.
possibly.
Because I
Anyway,
think I remember seeing their names. But John Carpenter, this is what I was saying,
hmm,
did the music
yeah, he
for it.
did. He did.
And that
You hear it being sampled, like, and it's such a good tune. I mean, I think even Dr. Dre on the album 2001, he samples a song. He samples that, puts it in one of his own songs.
does he?
Yeah, he does.
I
Yeah,
remember there was a Euphoria version or a garage version, something like that of it, and it was wicked, man.
yeah. I'll have
Mm.
to check that out. I know that before.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
do you know the mask he wears?
yes,
Is it William Shatner?
What?
Yeah, is it William? You know the mask? Is it William Shatner's face?
No. Is
Hmm.
this a serious question?
Yeah, yeah, I'm asking.
I really don't think it's William Shatner's face, Dave.
I think it might be. So I Google it.
You can Google it, but I'm pretty 99 to 100% sure that it is not William Shatner's face.
I'll be back in 2 seconds. Let me find this
Okay.
out.
Okay, you go and do that. I'm going to talk to the people. Then I actually saw, like, you know, when you're going through Netflix and it's got like a little bit of a review, a preview of stuff. I saw something that was about Halloween's, and they was going on about they were looking through masks, and then all of a sudden the Michael Myers mask, come up, and I was like, yeah, that's the one. We're having that one, and I can kind of understand it because it is scary mask. It's just expressionless and black holes for eyes, and it was good. I don't think it would have been the same if he'd had like, I don't know, a Lenny Henry mask or something like that, or like a My Little Pony bandana. So yeah, I feel like it did it did do the film well. And then obviously you had, I'm trying to change my camera, and then obviously you had Friday the 13th, and I had the hockey mask, but I don't think that has the same kind of intimidating look as the Mike Myers mask. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Fuck you. Fuck you, Jason Voorhees. They should have done, after Freddy versus Jason, they should have done like Michael versus Freddy and Michael versus Jason. And I'm trying to think of other iconic. Did you hear what I was saying?
Yes. Right.
Oh,
Listen to this though. Right. It says it has been rumored that the Michael Myers mask is actually the face of William Shatner. So it's been rumored though.
what do you mean they molded it on his face?
No, basically it's just a mask. And originally it was just a William Shatner mask, maybe from Star Trek or something. And then like they just used that mask. It was
Hang on,
William Shatner.
hang on. So what you're trying to say is it's not meant to depict William Shatner's face.
But it just is William Shatner's face. It's the mask of William Shatner. Or maybe it is, and it's just kind of an inside joke with the directors and stuff. But it's been rumored. If you don't believe me, check yourself. It's been rumored. I'm not saying it is. It's been rumored that it's William Shatner's.
You've been rumored that you are William Shatner's love child.
Probably am. And if I am, where's my money?
Where's my motherfucking money, bitch?
I want my money. He was more than a red coat. You must be on loads.
I'll give him a Vulcan death grip, Dave.
Like he was on Star Trek, weren't he? Yeah. He's done loads of
Yeah.
other stuff. He's William Shatner, isn't
So,
he? So yeah. So
yeah, do you think they should have done a Jason versus Michael?
I think that I think it's fun to mess around with famous horror characters like that, but I still think they shouldn't do it
To
because
be fair,
nobody.
though,
Do you know what? Nobody's ever done a good version of it. Okay, Freddy v Jason, it was okay,
it
but
was okay.
it weren't like, oh, I'll watch that again.
I've watched it a few times, to be fair. Alien versus Predator, was that better?
That could have been a lot better than it was.
It could have been a lot better, to be fair, but I don't think it helps the fact that I downloaded the first copy that I had of that.
Yeah,
And I don't know if I've seen a normal copy, and it was really fucking fuzzy.
yeah. Well, we'll have to watch the actual one.
Yeah, I have watched the actual Freddy versus Jason, to be fair, but I just feel like what they did with Freddy was towards the end, because they were running out of horror stuff for him to do, they kind of tried to make him a bit more comical.
Yeah, and see the Freddy Krueger in that is like a bit shit, I think, because you can tell they're using all CGI on his face and stuff, and it's just
Why is
like,
he not the same dude?
no, not the same dude. The original dude was what was his name? Something England, Robert England, I think.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, and
And it looks a little bit like, the dude who was on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Do you remember Whose Line Is It Anyway?
um,
Oh, Two and a Half Men.
yeah,
Do you know the geezer who ends up going with Alan's ex-wife?
I don't know. I don't watch Two and a Half Men that much. The only reason I watched it is because my dad loves it. He loves it.
He loves Two and a Half Men. Okay. Okay, Dave.
You know,
Are you
that's
the
what we
half a
should
man?
call our podcast when Lou's on with us. Two and a half men. Did you get it? Dave's half a man. Right now. So, and I want to talk about some scenes in Halloween and Halloween 2, yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right. And I'm gonna hand the floor over to you first. What was some of the concepts or scenes that really annoyed you?
Annoyed me.
What
I'm
annoyed you?
not saying that any of this. Oh, actually, I tell you what annoyed me. To be fair, it annoys me that she stabs him with a knitting needle in the neck,
Yeah.
and then she picks up his knife and looks over the settee at him, and then thinks, "Thank fuck he's dead," and throws the knife down.
Yeah.
And then
What by
the
him?
silly cunt goes upstairs, hides in the closet, pokes him in the eye with a
Yeah.
fucking coat hanger or whatever it is, and then leaves his knife there again.
It's almost like she doesn't deserve to survive. You know, loads of people say this, but it is true. He walks about 3 miles an hour. Even I would be able to get away from him.
3 miles an hour, though, Dave, is actually quite a brisk walk.
All right, all right. I don't know you walking
1 mile an hour.
things.
Let's do 1 mile an hour.
I'm a stranger to the walking nature. Okay, one
To
mile
be
an
fair.
hour, fucking half a mile an hour. Right.
So,
All that I know is that it goes really slow.
yeah, hang on, let me just reply to my friend who just messaged me.
It's all right. Not how to do the podcast. Yeah. Do you know when the first thought we got Michael Myers in the first one, right? When they hit that ambulance into that kid, he sets on fire and dies. They find out that it's not Michael Myers, and all that just gets brushed under the carpet. The police have killed an innocent person.
I quite like the fact, Dave, right, that you had Halloween and then Halloween 2 was like the immediate aftermath of Halloween. It
Yeah,
weren't like, 1 year's time he came back on Halloween. It was like this same night, this bird is still getting fucking terrorized.
he's relentless. What did you
Dave,
think about the second one?
well, you remember when I told you to watch it and I said an incentive would be that there is a great pair of boobies in it.
Yes, I've seen them.
Did you see them?
I saw them.
Well, they're great.
Yes, I love 70s boobs.
Do you like 70s hairy muff?
Not too
Fair.
hairy. Not too
Yeah.
hairy. Like I did like little bit of hair on there because to me, when it's all shaven, like it just looks abnormal.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'll go with
you
that.
know, you need a little bit. I need to know I'm with a woman, like, you know what I mean? You need a little bit down there. It's a,
Yeah, I know what
you know what I
I know
mean?
what you're saying, Dave. I know what you're saying. So,
Yeah.
what was you going to ask me again? What did you ask me before I went on to boobs?
What's your opinion about the second one?
Um, so the second one's not as good. I don't think it was as good as the first one because I feel like it's a little bit like what I was just saying about Freddy. They made it a bit more that like he weren't just a slasher, he was killing people other way. It just seemed like they was adding a bit more gimmicky kills to it.
I liked it, right? Because it wasn't gore porn. It was The psychology of it back in those days when that film was made, right? The whole Nightmare in Suburbia was a kind of new concept. The psychology of it, just saying, like in the so-called American suburb where the audience may live and they can relate to is suddenly, approached on a killer, not a monster or anything like that, an actual person from a mental home. You know, even like the camera shots of like you see him in the background and then it disappears. Back then, that would have been fucking terrifying. It's just so
I,
many movies now have copied it.
I was going to say that, to be fair, that kind of that thing where you see him and then you don't see him. I still think that is kind of sort of unique
Yeah,
to Halloween. The fact that they're looking out the window and he's there, and then they look back and he's gone, and then it's panning across somewhere and he's there and he's gone. I think it's like I don't think anyone else has really managed to copy it as well. Look,
yeah,
really well.
yeah. Don't you think the psychologist in it? He's a proper Buzz Killington. Like I know everything's going on and things are crazy, but all his lines are a lot of
He's
deep,
evil.
dark philosophies. Yeah, it's like let's just say his name's Ned. How you doing, Ned? You're right. I'm okay. But I sense evil from the deepest, darkest corners of my soul. He's fucking depressing. No
You know
wonder he
what?
sent Michael Myers insane.
It refers to Michael Myers, I reckon, as pure evil. Got to be at least like 8, 9 times in the hour and a half,
Yeah,
and
and
he's
like
not the main person.
And look, at the end of the day, you can't be that good at psychology if his only diagnosis is, well, I ain't got an answer, it's just pure evil. Do you know what I mean? He
It's an
hasn't
evil
said,
book.
yeah, he hasn't said, well, he's got a defect or whatever. Nope, diagnosis pure evil. Because,
Do you
you know,
think, right? So there's one part in it, in the first one, where she pulls his mask off.
hmm
Did you notice that?
yeah, I did, yeah, a little glimpse.
Right. I wonder if that is like a demand made by the actor to say, I want people to see who I am.
That's interesting. That's a good point. That's a good point, actually. It's, or it could be like a teaser for the audience.
Because I was pretty sure that you never ever saw his face. Obviously, having not watched the film for about 25 years,
Mm.
obviously I got it wrong.
Do you see his face in any follow-ups? I don't think you do, do you? You never see his face. You're doing the new remake of like when it
Do
goes
you?
back. Yeah, because there's I think it come out in 2019 or something, but there's a film, Halloween, and like it's basically a remake, but it goes back into the past of when he killed his parents and his sister.
Oh, a bit more like it's got a bit more of
Yeah,
a backstory to it, a bit like the
yeah.
new Freddy.
It's basically the backstory, yeah, a bit more of a backstory, and it explains and shows you things that the other Halloweens didn't. They only
But
hinted at it.
is it a remake of the first one, but with a bit more telling you a bit more about the past?
No, it's just basically the backstory.
Oh, okay.
And then I think there's a remake of the actual first one as well. I don't
Well,
know.
he only
There's so
killed
many
his parents, so
Halloweens.
did
Hey?
he? He only killed his parents, so didn't he? It sounds like a bit of a
Yeah,
shit
he
horror.
killed his parents and his older sister.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
But,
Because
uh,
hang on, in the first one, his sister's getting drilled, right? And you see him, and he stabs her, and she's on the floor with all blood.
yeah, that's the one.
But what about the geezer who was drilling her?
He's dead as well, isn't
Okay, so he killed his parents and the sister and
he?
the
Yeah,
boyfriend.
yeah. That's like the backstory that leads you into who's Michael Myers now. And it even shows you his time in therapy as well.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
But it is just think about the concept, yeah, because it is very real. I mean, like, and that's why it's scary to me. Like, nuts. I'm a grown man and I'm tough, obviously. But like, it would be more psychologically scary, wouldn't it? than like just gore porn and that, because that just gets on my nerves. Like like Saw, that was really good, the first one,
The first one was really good.
because we'd never we'd go, wow, that's actually a good concept. Then they drain it, and same with Halloween. There's so many of them now, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
I think there's at least 7 Halloweens before H2O, and then whatever other ones have been made.
Yeah, and H2O has just been left hanging there because it doesn't really fit into any. Do you know what I mean?
And there's fucking 8. I know there's at least 8, and there might be more. Fucking Friday the 13th.
I think there's about 6 or 7 Nightmare on Elm Streets.
There were six Freddy Krueger films, and
Yeah.
then there was Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and
Yes.
then there was Freddy versus Jason. So
Yeah.
that's 8.
And the Michael
Oh,
Bay Freddy
and the
Krueger.
remake, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
that's 9.
9. What does that
There's a
say
lot in
about
it.
us? This is mankind. Because obviously they're just following a formula that works and makes lots of money. But it makes lots of money because people like me and you go and watch them. There's
Night-
something about being scared, aren't they?
Nightmare on Elm Street is to me, it's the best horror concept of all time because it's happening to people in their dream. There's nothing they can do about it
Yeah,
except for stay
complete.
awake.
Yeah,
And that sort of plays with the psychology of it all, doesn't it?
yeah. I remember when I was a kid, right? Like we used to watch horror films, and I remember watching Nightmare on Elm Street. I was only about 8 or 9, and basically, me and my brother had these 2 wooden beds. I think I mentioned this before in a podcast. Sorry if I'm repeating it, but me and my brother had these 2 wooden beds. Obviously, I'm in the bottom because I can't walk. And so basically, when I lie down facing up to the slats, the wooden slats. My brother got his compass, put claw marks at the top of the slats, and wrote, "Freddy's gonna get you" on the wall next to it. Like,
The only thing
for days.
compasses weren't used for was drawing circles.
Yeah, I mean, like when you go to school and you don't think, "Oh, I better take my compass just in case I've got to draw a circle." I suppose you're doing maths,
Maybe a little, nah, but still,
but still,
still,
even then,
it is. It is said to be impossible for any human brain to draw a perfect circle without the aid of anything.
really,
Yeah, you think of how precise you'd have to be though to draw a perfect circle.
yeah.
It's one of them shapes, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
one of them bastard shapes.
yeah. Like, do you want to bet? I reckon I could do it.
Dave, there is no way you could draw a circle, mate. Come on.
Bet you 20 quid. I can't even draw anyway. But like, bet you 20 quid I could do
I don't
it.
even know if we would even have the capacity between us to test if it was a full circle, a proper circle.
Oh yeah, I suppose I just have to take your word. Nah, I don't trust this experiment. I just take your word for it. Nah, David, ain't give me 20 quid. All right then.
So, um, so yeah, you did mention that on a past podcast, and I thought it was really fucking funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
To be fair,
Matthew
it was
did that.
funny.
Yeah.
Hey,
So, and
go.
so, what do you think? Right. What do you think films would be like here, right now, horror films, if Halloween never got as much credit as it has?
What do you mean if Halloween hadn't paved the
Yeah,
way?
imagine what kind of horror film would be the popular horror film these days if that didn't pave the way for the good old slasher movies.
I feel like there still would have been a slasher revolution at some point, but I don't think Friday the 13th would have been made the way it was. Definitely not the way it was with the hockey mask.
Nah,
I don't think so. I watched
nah.
one of them recently, Friday the 13th. I'm sure I did.
Do you know, I haven't
Uh,
watched any for years.
yeah, I can't remember where I watched it. There must have been like a new one or a remake of the first one or some shit like that. And I watched it.
Have you ever seen The Omen?
Yeah, this is another good horror film. Actually, iconic.
There's three of them
Uh,
as well.
Yeah, The Omen, that was good. The Exorcist, classic,
The
class.
Exorcist, The Exorcist was good, but do you know what spoilt it for me? All the publicity around it, you know, back in the day, right? If it was just a film that said, "Here, here's a bit of a screwed up film, watch," I'd think more of it. I wouldn't need rumours of people passing out in cinemas and shit.
Have you watched the newest one that's on Netflix, The Origin Story?
Yeah, with
It's
the
worth watching, and it
hyenas. Yeah, and the
yeah,
hyenas get that kid. I think that scene is messed up, man. Like where
it
they
is
grab,
good.
yeah, basically, spoiler alert, these
Follow that.
possessed hyenas attack this young boy while he's playing with his brother, and then alright, don't take that the wrong way.
How about?
While he's playing with his brother, and like they're just ripping to pieces while he's still alive, and that you more or less see the whole thing, don't you?
To be fair, the geezer who shot the hyena should have really shot the kid.
Yeah,
I thought that's what he was going to do. I thought he was going to shoot the kid just because, the kid had been really fucked up and he was going to die in pain.
yeah, that would have been
But
the
you didn't.
kind of thing to do, eh?
Mm,
And that guy
yeah,
with the nasty teeth, that old boy, it's gross. And he played
yeah.
in, I think,
Brick top,
didn't he? Yeah,
brick top and snatch.
Brick Top,
Yeah.
yeah. Like in his manky teeth and that, like just a foul blow clot.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good film, to be fair. It was,
I think it was.
I, I feel like it was better than most sequels or prequels, compared to the original.
Yeah.
It was good. The Omen and Amityville, that was another one that had fucking hundreds of fucking films made about it.
Oh, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
There's another one. That's so yeah, there's a whole I wonder why it is, Dave, right, that horror films are more prone to having that many sequels.
I think because when we watch a film like that, we're not watching it for the deep plots, are we? Well, it's almost like a scary ride, and we like to be scared. And the formula that works and scares us are people that come in after us because there's some sort of realism to that. So it frightens us in a good way. We like to be frightened when we know we're safe. We're watching it on the screen. It's like when we go on like a ride in the fairgrounds. If you enjoy fairground rides, I enjoy them because I know 99% I'm safe, strapped in. It's a controlled environment where you could lose control. That's what people like, I think, and that's why you get so many things like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I like anyway.
Yeah. Oh. Do you get sad to chase you? Chase me.
Chase me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, so we haven't got the book with us for the ratings. But if
Right.
you was gonna rate Halloween 1 and 2, let's put them both as one long film.
All right.
How would you rate it?
I would give it a 3.5.
I would give it a 4. So I think, let's round down. Let's go with your one, 3.5.
3.5. The reason why I'd give it 3.5 is because it's an iconic film.
It
It
is.
it sparked off a film format that trended to this day. Um, the reason why I wouldn't give it like 5 stars or any above, I think basically because of our generation, the way I viewed it was like I've seen all this before, but I can appreciate it for what it is, you know.
Yeah,
But if it was just a film that came out today, I'd think, oh, it's a bit naff.
yeah, I get it. I get it. Right, Dave, I've got to go.
What's yours quickly?
My what? My rating?
Yeah,
It would have been 4.
4, any?
Yeah,
Why? Why?
because I think it was, again, it was like, it didn't really scare me, but it was an iconic film of the time. And it did, like you say, it set a trend of, it was a good, if we'd have watched this in 1978, we probably would have given it a 5.
Or a 6? Can we give it 6?
I
Anyway,
don't
I
think
don't
so.
know. Don't think we can we? Oh,
A 6. I think we should give a film a 6
we'll give the
when
winning film.
it is groundbreaking.
Yeah. All right, and that's the golden star, the 6th
Yeah,
star.
6. The Matrix 4 might get a 6.
Let's hope, but I'm a bit worried.
Why?
I've seen the trailer.
I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it because I feel it's going to ruin the film for me a little bit.
Yeah.
So don't ruin it for me.
Me and you were going to watch that, you know this, yeah, in the cinema. When it
Yeah,
comes
we've
out.
already said this. And then afterwards, I think we should do a podcast straight after in my car.
Right after.
Straight after.
Yeah, we'll do a review in your car.
We'll be like, oh!
Oh,
Right, so
Neo
what film we're
got
going to
bored.
watch?
All right.
Are we sticking with a horror theme considering it's Halloween week?
Yeah, let's do that then. So,
If we do it on Sunday, we'll actually be Halloween as well, won't it?
oh yeah. So what horror film should we watch, Anne, just quickly?
I don't know. Maybe we should leave this as a surprise because
Yeah,
we've
all right.
watched Halloween, and we need to think about like the best film to do for Halloween. You know what's on Prime?
What?
But he's
It
going to
too.
ruin it. It too, but he's going to ruin it not having the first one there.
Now the first one's on Netflix.
What is it?
Yeah. I've
You
watched the
lie.
first. It still might be on there. I've watched the first one on Netflix.
When?
Oh, yeah, it was a while ago.
I'm going to have a look. Stay
Have a
there.
look. The book's a lot better though. Like
Yeah, the book is better.
when I've watched the films and that, because I read the book before I've seen any of the films, even the old 80s one, right? Like, because I read the books and it goes into so much depth, you watch the films and you're a bit disappointed. But as films, the kind of films as they stand on their own, they're okay. But if you read the book, you'd think it was crap because they leave so much out. But they
You
have
know
to
what,
do
Dave? Right.
these
I
films,
can rent
their
I
stories.
can rent it number one for £3.49. So if it's not on Netflix or Prime before then, I will rent the first one so I can watch the second one for
Okay.
free.
Oh, mate, I love it. You're making sacrifices for the podcast.
Sacrifices.
Yeah.
Right, I'm really gonna go.
I'm not reimbursing you that money, okay? See you
Fuck that
later.
petty cash, bro.
Bye-bye, but yes, okay.
Petty cash, blood. Bye.
Petty cash. That's all I've got. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.